Welcome to the podcast. This is Andrew and Jenna. We're reviewing Speak No Evil. It's the 2024 movie. It's based on the 2022 Danish film with the same name. I saw this movie actually a little less than a year ago. I saw it for Halloween last year. I was looking for good, creepy movies. And I remember seeing When Evil Lurks, and someone... you haven't heard of that,
No.
I don't think.
I haven't seen the original 2022 one either.
Oh, for Speak No Evil.
Yeah.
But yeah, the only reason I think you heard of Speak No Evil, this one, is just from the trailers. I saw the trailers for this, and I immediately was thinking, oh, they're remaking that movie? Just because the movie is so recent. It's literally from 2022, and they were even speaking English in the original.
I was going to say, were they not speaking English in the original? And that makes sense. But, why did they make a remake so quickly?
I think, really, it just comes down to it's a pretty good story, and it's a good concept. Easy to do, as well. It's got just, a couple people in, one location, mostly. I kind of understand from, a budget point of view. You only have James McAvoy. He's, the draw. He's on the poster. He's the name, right above where it says Speak No Evil. I was thinking, who's going to go see this because James McAvoy's in it? People will recognize him, but people are going to see it just because they see the trailers and they think... Even the trailers didn't do, a very good job, in my opinion, at making this look... They just kind of reveal all the good, creepy scenes, and it's just... I don't know. The trailers didn't do justice to me.
You know that he got his tongue cut out.
Yeah.
We're gonna allowed to say that.
I guess this will be a spoiler review. Yeah, no, we'll put that in the title, the description. Anyway, that actually makes it easier to talk about. But yeah, in the original movie, it ends on a very dark note. They changed that. They changed the original ending of the film. In the original Speak No Evil, we find out that these people who have been taking this family, to their house, they've been very weird. They're actually kidnappers, I guess, and they cut out the tongues of the kids who, they kidnap. And it had a really dark ending. You actually see they cut out the daughter's tongue.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you think they do that while they're, sedated and out cold?
In this movie?
In general, hypothetically
speaking, in this movie,
you think they give them that shot and they sedate them and then they cut it out?
He even says that. He even says, oh, it's a lot less messy. But in the original, they just straight up do it while they're,
That's
screaming.
Wild.
It's a wild European film moment where you can, just get away with that. But to be honest, that's the one, really violent moment.
I was going to say, so was the original more violent and gory?
Not really, just except for that scene. But this movie, I really don't... obviously, it has this scene at the end where it's probably the only, really gory scene in the movie with the brick.
Yeah.
But, this movie is, in my opinion, so good because it isn't really a traditional horror film. It's not a traditional, movie where there's, this constant jump scares. And that's what I like about it. There's no constant sense of, the music, is doing the work. Then in the movies, they'll have the score, and the score is heightening, and you're something bad's gonna happen. This movie is just pure human tension. And I think that's what's good about it. Even though it is a remake, it still is it's a really good remake. And it improves on the original by changing up the ending. And let's be clear, this has a much more Hollywood ending, this movie. It's a great idea. And also, it has the typical, why were you doing this to us? That I'd say The Strangers from 2008 made famous, where the couple asks, why are you doing this to us? And they say in this, because you let us. In The Strangers, it was because you were here. Or it's because you were home. And in the new one, remember the Strangers Chapter 1, she goes, because you were here. Terrible movie, by the way.
I thought they said in this one, because you let us.
They did. I'm talking about The Strangers.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, for clarification, though, I like the, subtext. The whole movie has two meanings as well. Speak No Evil being the kid can't speak because he doesn't have a tongue. And then it's also Speak No Evil because the people refuse to, acknowledge that not necessarily that what they're initially doing is evil, but it's kind of wrong. Mm-hmm. I love this type of movie because it feels like something that could happen in real life. Just with how you present the characters. They're, on vacation, the James McAvoy character comes up to Scoot McNairy and Mackenzie Davis's character, and he's like, oh, I want to go for a ride on my motorcycle. And he takes the daughter, and obviously the parents are uncomfortable letting their daughter go on the stranger's bike, but they let them because they're uncomfortable. They don't speak up. And that's kind of, the message of the movie. Which, honestly, it's not saying, oh, you have to be this, alpha boss. It's just saying, your people are going to get stepped on because they don't speak up. That's pretty much, the message. And that's what they say at the end. it just does a good job of showing that. And I think for a remake, it's pretty decent. It's a pretty good remake. It's just like really, really creepy and foreboding, and I loved all the performances. I also thought that casting James McAvoy was just like a brilliant move. He's a well-known guy.
Yeah,
he's a great
I think
performer.
he's a great part for like that role.
And he just like sells the movie. He really just
he's good at creepy roles like that.
Yeah, and I think with a movie like this, it's a really good example of how to make a horror movie that's just like entertaining and subverts the genre, because it's not a typical one. It's a psychological horror movie. It's completely like psychological. It all relies on like one of these people thinking. It's all human. And I think that it's very rare, especially from Blumhouse, that they put out like a good psychological horror. Like they just had Afraid, which we just reviewed. An awful movie. They've had remakes of Halloween, Exorcist, which are just terrible. Like just bad movies that are trying to like capture the spirit of the original. But I feel like with this remake, with Speak No Evil, they captured all the great parts about the original story, and they still managed to give it like this Hollywood ending that felt rewarding, or felt like, because the other one ends with no hope. Like the daughter gets taken, the little boy gets taken, and both her parents are dead. But in this, you have this like good Hollywood ending. But in my opinion, it doesn't really crap on the original, just because of how good like James McAvoy's performance is, and just in general the direction and the way the movie looks. It looks really good. So I enjoyed it. I think there's a lot of worse horror movies out there.
Definitely.
As I mentioned, Afraid. Fuck you, Blumhouse, for releasing that. I really thought this would be terrible based on the trailers, just because the trailer did a really awful job.
I remember you saying that. You were like, oh, like, I don't feel I need to see this.
Mostly, though, what the trailers do, because this movie is just so uncomfortable, is the trailer just shows you a bunch of, like, weird, cringeworthy scenes on vacation, and then throws a bunch of violence at the end, so it just feels totally, like, kind of unearned. You're like, wait, like what is this movie even about? Like, they're on vacation with weird people. It's just a weird trailer choice. But I did really like the movie. What'd you think, Jenna?
I really liked it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was like... Sorry, I don't want
That's okay. You don't have to. I mean, like, what'd you think of the movie? Did you actually enjoy it, or did you just think like it was okay? Like, what part annoyed you, or was there?
I like the awkwardness. I like that you felt their awkwardness of the couple.
Yeah.
Like, it was, I like that. Like, because I felt awkward and uncomfortable.
I mean, that's, like, the point, and I think it does a good job, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I agree with that. Did you, like, find it, like, at any points, like, frustrating, like, choices the characters made?
Oh, yeah, the part where the mom had the gun and the guy who owned the restaurant came and shot their Tesla, and I'm like, girl, you have that gun in your hand. Are you just using it to hold it? Like, to hold it?
True, and she
Shoot the guy. You could have easily went bam, 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 drive, you know?
Yeah, it had a lot of moments where it really just dragged it out for dragging it out. Like the bunny on the roof.
Yeah.
It was, like, funny, though. Like, I will say, and I was talking to you about this yesterday, it has these moments that you're like, they definitely could, like, get out of that situation, but it handles it in a way, like, I am defending it, where it's not really dragged out. They really just kind of explain it quickly. Like, the restaurant guy just says, like, I just want, like, a piece of, like, my money. I don't want to do this. Or you get that the girl, like, has these issues, like, with the rabbit, which is why they go back for it. Yes, it really, like, justifies or tries to justify, like, the moments that aren't as believable. But I think overall it's just, like, a fun time. Yeah. And because it's such a good psychological thriller with such good performances, and the story itself is just, like, believable, and it works, that they even, I remember thinking, like, how did they get away killing all these families? But I think he even says something, like, when he's, like, getting them to get the money from their bank account, he says, like, oh, you're going to send emails, like, in a week, like, to your work, to your friends, like, saying, like, it's like they really quickly explain, like, how they covered their tracks. So, in my opinion, like, I mean, I think they just kind of really did plan out this movie, and it doesn't feel so, like unbelievable. That's what I like about it, though. It feels honestly so creepy because of how real compared to these other, like, ghost movies, or, you know, Megan or whatever. This is actually, like, shit, there could be some fucked up dude like James McAvoy. But honestly, James McAvoy in real life is probably such a sweetheart.
There probably is some creepy European guy.
Yeah. But, like, who? Like Pitbull? Wait, he's not.
Like
Jason Statham. Like Jason Statham.
Who does shit like this, you know?
Yeah. Well, Jason Statham doesn't do that, I assume. Anyway. Well, I enjoyed it. So
Me too.
let me know what you guys think. If you enjoyed it, I think it's a great psychological thriller and one of the rare films from Blumhouse to just be entertaining.
House.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let us know what you think of the film, and follow and comment. Make sure to subscribe. Thanks so much.
Bye. How do I end this?